Guys, mic up. 30 seconds.
Exactly. Focus.
All right.
The Flagstaff Police Department is grieving the loss of one of their own today.
First, and then it crossed my mind, oh my gosh, this could be an earthquake.
The Student Media Center cultivates creativity because it gives students an outlet to express their point of view, their ideas, bring into reality some of the new ways of reporting and creating content for a variety of different media.
The biggest way creativity can come into play with NAZ today is story ideas. A student can come up with almost any story idea and execute that and get it on the air. So if someone comes up with something really creative and outside the box, we'll try and figure out a way to make it fit into what we're doing. But the nicest thing, honestly, is the rest of the student media. If it maybe doesn't fit what we're doing with NAZ today, you have the radio station, you have the newspaper, you have UTV 62, which is a student-run television station, and the sky's really the limit.
The facilities of the SMC give us a lot of room to really work and do the things that we want to be able to do. Not to mention there's a lot of people who can give us creative support, people who've been doing what we do for a long time.
The Student Media Center is a lab, and that, as a lab, it's a place for experimenting with different ways of telling stories, putting together different kinds of content. And that's what we're trying to encourage them to do, is to not only develop a set of skills that appeal to what's going on currently in the media, but also to try out new things.
So if somebody's looking to edit, then we'll throw them into editing, or into production, and we'll throw them into production. So it really expands what they are capable of doing themselves, because it's giving them an outlet to use and to develop skills they would like to have.
I think you guide the creativity by creating standards and being fairly strict in the types of things that students can work on, but allowing a great range of flexibility within those types of things.
I started as a reporter. I moved up to an arts and entertainment editor where I learned how to edit stories and manage a staff. I then became the associate editor where I oversaw all of the content for the entire paper. And so, it's really been an opportunity for me to expand creatively as a writer and as an editor and really just as an artist, period.
One of the best aspects is the creative control that any person, even from a freshman to a senior, they can have complete control over their shows and have very little interference from faculty. So that's really great to have that kind of responsibility and authority.
The kinds of experiences that students will get out of the SMC really have to do with skills for looking at an industry that's rapidly changing and providing them with some opportunities to create a portfolio, to create work that they can show potential employers in the future that, hey, I've been working on web-based media content. I've been working with digital video production as well as being able to write in print. So it really diversifies their skill set when it comes time to be looking for jobs.
Our ability to kind of mix the theory that is taught in the classroom with the practical application that is able to be applied in the Student Media Center. So students learn about things in the classroom and it's a little bit abstract, and then they get down here into the Student Media Center and actually get to apply those things. And a lot of times the light bulbs kind of go off when that connection is made. If you're just in learning the theory in the classroom, there's a bit of a disconnect. And if you're just thrown into the real world situation, you don't really understand the intricacies of how things work or why they work the way they do. So we bring those together both in the classroom and in the Student Media Center, which I think is pretty cool.
One of the nice things about it is that it has a job-like feel. I've taken a lot of business classes, I've taken comm classes, I've done a lot of different things, but there's no real-world experience that I've gotten in NAU that is in any way close to the Lumberjack and the Student Media Center. The Student Media Center sort of offers an opportunity for you to deal with, the realities of media, of television, of news, of radio. You have consequences. You can't mess up on things. You're held accountable. You've got deadlines. You have assignments. You have everything that you have to get done. And this is a place that prepares you for real life in a really special way.
When you come into this program, you don't necessarily know everything that's going on. This helps you get into that. And it also gets you real world experience. I mean, if you have this on your resume, and if you become a manager or you progress, then you could show this to people you're going to be working for in the future.
I got here and they're like, oh, we have Chiron. I was doing that the first day when they were training me. I was like, oh my god, this is totally what I learned about this summer of what I needed. And that just kind of kept happening and kept happening. So the fact that I got exposed to all this almost automatically, and it wasn't like I had to wait, I just got to do it. I was like doing camera live on television immediately, and so that was a really cool thing. And then even my first day as well, I was also reporting. They sent me out, they're like, oh, we got a story, you're going. I'm like, really? Okay. So they sent me out, and it was very exciting for me.
The thing about student media is that it gives students an opportunity to have real life experiences while going to school. So whether they're working for KJAC, NAZ Today, UTV, the Lumberjack, they're basically doing the same types of things that they would be doing out in the real world. UTV is modeled after a real life television station. It's very much like the station that I worked for when I was working for Westinghouse.
The benefits of the convergence curriculum that we've just created and the Student Media Center is really in response to a lot of changes that are going on in the industry. What we're trying to do there is prepare students for jobs in the 21st century in terms of journalism and the production of content for different media outlets.
The Student Media Center here at NAU has kind of undertaken a huge project with Convergence. It gives people some of the real-world experience of working with multiple mediums. No medium today is like just audio or just print. So out in the real world, if we work at a radio station, we're going to have to know website development. We're going to have to know how to use a video camera to put video postings.
Convergence is improving the Student Media Center. One, it's a reality. Out there in the world today, people are working in multi-platforms. They're no longer just a radio station, just a paper, just a website. They're all converged. And employers, potential employers, are looking for employees that have those skill sets. Yeah, it's great to specialize, and I still support specializing in what you're really passionate about, but to ignore everything else is just foolish on the student's part, and it would be foolish on our part as educators.
Convergence is an issue not only with the Student Media Center, but with all of media. I think the idea of convergence, just much like the way I talked about UTV, where are students most interested in working? In UTV, are we talking about just being on air, or in this case on cable on channel 62, or is it something that students want to produce to be online? And I think what Convergence does is it just allows us much more flexibility in the distribution of our products.
The Convergence package in the SMC is a really interesting concept. It actually gives people the opportunity to work with each other in a really, really productive way. We can look at all of the people from each branch of the media working together and sharing, say, leads on news stories or say events that we have. We can all work together on them, which obviously provides us a lot more opportunity to do things as a whole unit than we would individually.
We have students right now sharing their voices not only on the radio but in the newspaper. This is the first semester that a DJ has written for Lumberjack. Somebody started with KJAC and is now writing for the Lumberjack. We also have several Lumberjack writers doing shows on KJAC, and we're working with the TV station to get a couple of our music shows on air. So, we can showcase bands visually. I think a lot of people like music because they like to see musicians perform live. So we're cross-promoting all of that at the same time. So I think Convergence facilitates putting those voices out there all the more.
The independent film minor is new. It's going to start in the fall. And what this is a collaboration between NAU and the Zachy Gordon Independent Filmmaking Institute, which is in Sedona.
What the students gain most from coming here is a real complete understanding of the process of filmmaking. They pitch an idea that they want to make into a movie, and they're actually going to convert that story by the end of the year into their short film. And we do it through hands-on techniques of teaching you what it's like to be a cinematographer or a director or a producer. And you have to do all those roles as you go through this process, even the writing aspects of it, in order to understand the complete interlace that occurs between all the departments that exist on a film.
It's an agreement that really works well for everybody. For students, what they get to do is basically the equivalent of spending a semester somewhere else. A lot of times students will take trips abroad and they'll spend a semester in Paris or Amsterdam or London and take coursework over there. This is similar to that, except they're not going so far. They're not traveling such a great distance. They're going to Sedona and having a semester of intensive study at the Zaki Gordon Institute, where they have a number of industry professionals who are teaching filmmaking classes and have had experience working on major motion pictures.
The relationship that NAU and the Zaki Gordon Institute, Yavapai College's film school, have, the great thing that relationship will bring is it'll allow filmmakers, whether they're going for a bachelor's or just coming for a year, to gain that understanding in a very quick way.
Having an opportunity to work with equipment different from the equipment that we have here at NAU, and working with students who are not necessarily NAU students but have come to just study filmmaking and work on crews with those students. So it's a great opportunity to focus in very intensively in a nice place, Sedona, and work with a number of industry professionals that will allow students to get course credit here at NAU in terms of a minor.
It's a real exciting thing for people to know that the work that they've done here not only has benefited them in terms of their career design, but will also provide for them a level of education to meet the marketplace in the future, depending on where their career needs to go in the future. And sometimes you start out in filmmaking and you go somewhere else. Well, having a bachelor's degree under your belt really helps allow you to have versatility in how you think about your future. And I think that's a real important thing.
Once you do decide to get involved in the student media here at NAU, we do our best to facilitate your learning experience. For example, we have access to some state-of-the-art equipment, both cameras, audio equipment, recording studios, edit bays, and these facilities can be accessed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with the proper authorization. So it really gives the students a chance to jump in both feet and start practical learning experiences to complement what they're learning in the classroom.
The SMC allows people a diverse amount of opportunities. It's hard for me to think of something that you might want to do as far as media or even just creativity or professional growth is concerned that you wouldn't be able to explore by being here. There's something for everybody, and there's something that's very real here.
As an incoming freshman, I think that if you join this program, you're going to get involved in something that is going to help you throughout your whole life. You're going to learn skills that are essential in the business. You're going to learn networking, or gain networking rather, that is really going to help you in the future.
The SMC is fantastic. Nowhere else on campus or in any other university, I don't think, can you have access to real-life technology and tools, the cutting-edge stuff that they use in real production studios like we have here at KJAC. So we're really running a radio station, we're really running our own shows, we're really running a production studio, and that's such a great opportunity to have here at NAU.
And you get to learn just by doing hands-on stuff, so it's not a lot of just sitting, you actually get to do stuff as opposed to, some classes where, you hear, you're gonna like learn about filmmaking, but you just sit in the classroom.
No matter how much initiative you take, it's as much or as little as you want, but you get to come in and do it on your own terms. Other places, other universities, you have to come in and go through hoops and 10 different steps before you even get to try anything. Here, you get to try it as you go. You get to kind of learn on the job. And as much as you want to do, you can do it.
There are a lot of opportunities for moving up here, and so every semester, every year, you kind of have a little bit of something different to do. So it's a well-rounded experience that it never just stays the same every single year unless you want it to.
If you are interested at all in any of the media, if you're interested in working in news, if you're interested in producing a TV show or a short film, if you're interested in having your own radio show, if you're interested in covering sports or entertainment for the Lumberjack, student media is a perfect place to go. You have freedom, you have flexibility, you have direction, and it's just an absolutely great way to get involved with Northern Arizona University.